Baseball on Chicago Sports Network is brought to you by Wintrust. Different approach, better results. Well, the White Sox are fresh off a 3-game sweep of the defending AL champion Toronto Blue Jays, and now the Baltimore Orioles are in town for another 3 games here at Rate Field. White Sox have played really well to start the home schedule. More to come with Grant Taylor taking the start. 3rd in his last 4 games. At some point, he'll play short and probably center field, too. Brandon Young makes his first start of the season for the Orioles. Made 12 last year, had an ERA over 6. Welcome into the ballpark, everybody. Alongside Brooke Fletcher, I'm Connor McKnight. Brooke, I don't know that you could characterize the atmosphere here this past weekend anything other than electric.
Listen, we could feel the energy in the crowd, and the players, they told us they fed off of that, and that carried into the clubhouse. They had the music going, we had DJ Bass Monkey going, the vibes are high, and now it's just about continuing to build off of that. Listen, it took until May 14th last season, Connor, for them to win 3 straight, so we got momentum on our side, so let's see if they can continue that. Let's get you set up on what you can expect in this series.
Let's go back to 1995, the last time the White Sox did that to the Blue Jays. Lance Johnson had a big series. Ozzie Guillen chipped in with a couple of hits, and they got to Juan Guzman for 6 in the finale, if you want to remember some guys.
But on the other side, the Orioles, they are trying to bounce back after a tough weekend. They were swept by the Pirates, and it marks the 20th time in franchise history they've started 3-6 or worse.
Takes a lot of money to move a polar bear 188 miles south, but things have started well for Pete Alonso in Baltimore in his 5-year, $155 million deal. Had a home run in his first 9 games.
But hey, the White Sox, we got some pop in Munetaka Murakami. Man, he has been rolling 7 hits, 4 homers, 7 ribbies in his first 9 games, and just continuing to answer those early questions about whether his game translates at this level.
Happy birthday, Edgar Quero. We celebrate all night, and there could be a lot to get excited about. Quero's swung it well lately, getting starting catcher reps with Kyle Teal on the injured list.
Now, Connor, history hasn't been on the White Sox side in this matchup. Just 1 win in their last 13 against Baltimore. But this is a new group and a new opportunity, but they've got some momentum on their side, and they're going to look to build off of that here tonight, because coming up, we're taking a closer look back at the White Sox big sweep over Toronto. John and Steve discuss on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
White Sox baseball on Chicago Sports Network is presented by Toyota. Visit your local Chicagoland Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Let's go places. By Davis Law Firm, your Chicago lawyer. By Prevagen, made for your brain. And by Wintrust. Different approach, better results. That's Wintrust. Visit wintrust.com/here to learn more. Nothing like a little home cooking. The boys are playing their best baseball this season here at home. 1-5 start, but the first 3-0 start here in Chicago since 2004. That was the first year Ozzie Guillen was the manager here for the Southsiders. What's up, everybody? Welcome inside the booth. Alongside Steve Stone, I'm John Schriffen. The vibes are really good at the ballpark. Has a nice ring to it. undefeated at home to start the season. And when you do it against a team like the Blue Jays, the defending American League champs, certainly has to be a confidence boost for this White Sox team.
Best part about that series was that the Sox got better each and every game, culminating yesterday where they were absolutely brilliant. So we'll take a look at the series overall. +7 in the run column, and coming into that one, -31 run differential. The defense was just great. It was terrific play after terrific play. I mean, they were airtight. Great outfield play, great infield play. And all things considered, it was one of their best series of the recent vintage of this ball club. I'm talking about all of spring training. So the pitchers were very good. They allowed 19 hits, but the most amazing stat, the Blue Jays, a good hitting team, 2 for 22 with runners in scoring position. If you do that, you're going to win your share. The Sox won 3. They swept the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays are a good team.
Coming up, revenge of the Birds. Last 2 seasons, the Orioles have been dominant over the White Sox. Just 1 win for the Southsiders in 13 tries. Let's change it up tonight. Make it 4 in a row. Into right field. The throw to the plate. Safe! The White Sox walk it off in the 10th. That's how you celebrate a home opener. This ball is gone! Colson Montgomery follows up Murakami, and the White Sox win it. Got him! The White Sox a 3-0 win and a series sweep. Bring him out, bring him out. For the 3rd time in 4 days, Grant Taylor will be the opener, getting the start for the Chicago White Sox. And the boys are playing some really good baseball right now as we start this 3-game set against the Baltimore Orioles. Craig Albanaz is the manager, first season for the Orioles, taking over in the offseason. High expectations for this Orioles team, but some injuries, some poor defensive play. They have not been playing their best baseball this season, just yet. And as Taylor Ward starts things off at the top, followed by Gunnar Henderson, Pete Alonso, he was a huge acquisition in the offseason from the Mets. Adley Rutschman, he is playing at a very high level behind the plate. O'Neill, Mountcastle, Cowser, Kobe Mayo, and Jeremiah Jackson at second.
And there's a look at Grant Taylor, who's been the opener twice. 9 pitches each time. He's been overwhelming. And a couple of starts last season to help him along the way. So we'll take a look at how he's going to do it tonight. He loves that four-seamer over half the time, almost 99 miles an hour, backed up by the curveball, which has been great. The cutter, he's thrown strikes with that and very few sliders.
Grant Taylor becomes the 5th pitcher since at least 1924 to start 3 times in 4 days. You got to go all the way back. This is old school baseball right now, what Grant Taylor is doing on the mound here tonight.
Well, it is, but most of the time in yesteryear when they did it, they actually went deep into the game. He doesn't go too deep, but that's okay because he's been really good, and Malachi Moore did not like that slider, and it looked to me like it was pretty close anyway.
Taylor Ward leads things off for the Orioles as he fouls that one away.
And there's a look at Malachi Moore. Calls strikes 11% below major league average into left-hand hitters. You might remember Ward with the Angels. He spent a lot of time there. That one up and in. He misses with it, so the first count goes full. And he'll use at least 6 pitches.
This one, a shot to the gap. And this one is going to roll all the way to the wall. Acuna will get it back in. A leadoff double for Taylor Ward.
Let's take a look at the defense and how Will puts them out there tonight. With Hayes, Acuna, and Peters in the outfield left to right, then Vargas, Montgomery, Meidroth, and Murakami. Edgar Carroll, the birthday boy, is behind the plate. He's old. He's 23 today. Our weather's presented by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. 47 degrees, feels like 38, actually feels like 28. Humidity at 54%. And the wind, it's a factor, 10 to 15 miles an hour out to center field.
We certainly have a little cold front moving over Chicago tonight and tomorrow. Bundle up if you are coming out to the ballpark here at the rate. Shortstop Gunnar Henderson. Now, because of that frigid weather that is moving through, tomorrow's game has been rescheduled. First pitch will be 2:10 p.m. Central. Coverage starts right here at 1:30 p.m. on CHSN. If you have a ticket for tomorrow night's game, the ticket is still good. You don't have to do anything but get to the ballpark earlier. Grant Taylor with the strikeout of Gunnar Henderson.
That if you've got a big fastball, this is the best way to use it. You get ahead and then you wipe them out at 99 or whatever you have upstairs out of the zone. Very lively fastball upstairs, and very few, if any, left-hand hitters can get around on that.
So here is Pete Alonso, the former star with the Mets, signing a 5-year, $155 million deal in the offseason. Has not quite lived up to expectations just yet here to start this season.
Expected slugging last year. Aaron Judge, surprising he's at the top. Ohtani, well, I'm shocked that he's second. Soto is third. Schwarber, and then the polar bear, Pete Alonso.
Pops this one up. It is Meidroth drifting back as Peters comes on and calls him off. And there's out number 2.
We're going to take a look at this pitch, and this is how you can tell a guy has really good stuff. It's 2-0. It's a fastball hitter's dream. It's exactly where he would like it, and he can't get around on it. That shows you there's some life on that fastball. This is a prolific home run hitter, and Grant just beat him that time.
So a 2 down, runner on at second. Adley Rutschman takes that fastball high out of the zone, ball 1. Steve, before the game we talked to Will Venable, second-year manager for the White Sox, asked him about this plan, using an opener once again. Third start here for Grant Taylor in 4 days. He said in the offseason this was not the plan. Taylor comes to the plate, 1-0. He said, but with the 1-5 start, you have to make an adjustment. And the opener was one of the things they figured out was maybe a little wrinkle that could get this team going. And he said, Grant Taylor, he is pitching the best he has ever seen him pitch.
But one of the reasons is you saw that last overhand hook, and there was great late break. Nobody hits that one.
Fastball driven to right field. It is Peters on the warning track, will make the catch as Taylor does his job again.
That swordfish one.
Time to take a look at the starting lineup for your Chicago White Sox. Chase Mydroth at the top, followed by Munetaka, Murakami, Vargas, Montgomery, Hayes. Steve, this is the lineup we are starting to get accustomed to see here from the White Sox.
Will said if there was anything like a set lineup, this is the one he'd probably use the most. I think this is what he envisioned this lineup was going to be coming out of spring training. So we'll take a look at Brandon Young going to the mound. He gave up his changeup to use more splitters. Last year in 12 starts, his ERA up over 6, and we'll see how he fares on a chilly night. This is how he's going to use his stuff. That four-seam fastball at 44% of the time. It's not overwhelming by major league standards. Then he backs it up by the splitter at 18%, the curveball at 16%, then cutter and slider the same at 9%, and the changeup. He doesn't throw many of those anymore, so we'll look at the defense. Ward, Cowser, and O'Neill in the outfield left to right, with Mayo, Henderson, Jackson, and Alonso. Adley Rutschman behind the plate, and we told you about Young.
Chase Mydroth leads things off for the Chicago White Sox here in the home half of the first inning. Over the course of this 3-0 start to the homestand for the White Sox, this team has scored in the first inning in 3 straight games.
And one of the keys tonight will be Mydroth. If he gets on, it's going to be difficult to keep the Sox from scoring early.
It's amazing what coming home can do for a ball club. And when I asked Will Venable, I said, what is it? Is it because you have your training facilities? Is it the comfort of your own bed? He said, really, it's the accountability of the fans. When you come at home and play in front of your home fans, you want to do something special. You want to show out. You don't want to disappoint them. And he said the fans have really helped this squad the first 3 games of this homestand.
And pretty decent weather against the Blue Jays. I mean, there was a lot of people in the stands opening day. You'd expect that. But pretty good crowds the next 2.
Chase Mydroth will draw a walk to get on here in this first. That Sox walk is presented by IDOT. Stop for pedestrians. It's not a game.
We'll take a look at exit velocities for Mooney. A home run, averaging 111.1, singles at 107.5, another single at 106. Then the other home runs that weren't by his standards hit all that well, but he's really strong.
How many teams around Major League Baseball are watching Munetaka Murakami and thinking, why didn't we make an offer on this guy?
Well, look, you can probably list the teams on one hand, maybe just a couple of fingers, that can't use left-handed power. That is the most precious commodity in baseball today. It's power. There's not a whole lot of it.
1-1. 4 home runs already for Murakami to start this season. That is good for tied 3rd in Major League Baseball.
Best thing about it is he does probably tattoo low pitches pretty well, and that's what Young depends on with that split finger these days.
Did not pull the trigger there as the breaking ball falls in. 2-2. Brandon Young, he was called up from AAA to make this start. Takes the place in the rotation of the injured Zach Eflin.
Young almost threw that one into the dugout.
First career start for Brandon Young, who was called up last year for the Orioles. Check on Mydroth again, and another high throw to first.
That time he lost his footing, and that's also 2 throws over there. So now you take a little bit bigger lead. We'll watch it again. You see him slip and almost throw it into the stands. Also a good way to get hurt.
Maybe little motions brewing inside Brandon Young on the mound, because his spot in this rotation is certainly not guaranteed. This could be just a spot start until guys start to get healthy again.
I think they want to see a little bit more than they saw last year and see if, in fact, he can go deep into some games. But tonight, they're telling me that they would be ecstatic with 4 innings.
Mydroth on at first, a full count here to Murakami. Mydroth goes as they ground it to Jackson at second. As we take a look at the current injured list for the Baltimore Orioles, they are just winging it right now, trying to piece this thing together. Their starting rotation was supposed to be one of the best in baseball, but a lot of those guys on the IL right now.
And Jackson Holliday is one of the guys that is not going to be here for a while because of the hamate bone, and normally that's a surgical procedure. They'd love to get Westbrook back. So there's some big names on the injured list, and that's one of the reasons why the Orioles off to a relatively slow start.
A lot of attention to Chase Mydroth here in this first inning. As the White Sox trying to keep that streak together, scoring here in this first inning. Vargas grounds this one to short. It is backhanded by Henderson. And just getting Vargas by a step, who was flying down the line.
Gotta love the hustle, and you're going to see this all year from everybody on this team, or Will's going to let them know about it. But he set the tone in spring training. He told them exactly what he expected out of each and every one of those guys. And in spring training, they lived up to it, and they've carried it over into this season.
Snap throw to second, as that one is bounced by Adley Rutschman.
We'll watch it again, and he notices that Mydroth is getting a very good secondary lead. They also have the video of that Toronto series where the Blue Jays use a lot of various pickoffs.
Colson Montgomery, a chance to drive in the first run of the game in this first inning. about this lineup that we're seeing here tonight, a lineup that Will Venable will most likely go to as we go on down this season. Staggering the lefties here. Meidroth, Murakami the lefty, Vargas, Montgomery the lefty. As Montgomery behind in the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
They're playing him straight away in the outfield. Cowser in center. And really no bias on either side. So right now they're trying to figure out what Colson Montgomery is going to do each and every at bat.
Got him swinging upstairs as Meidroth is left stranded at second. The White Sox trying to keep this momentum going. A sweep of the Blue Jays. Vibes are at an all-time high. Looking for 4 in a row tonight.
Eric Fetty taking the mound for the White Sox after another strong start by Grant Taylor. And listen, we've been talking about just this new roles for this pitching staff, but specifically for these starters now taking on those bulk innings. And Will Venable told us that he's been very intentional and very transparent with these guys as they're going through this process. He said, listen, I understand that these guys throughout their career, they've had their routines, and I'm also encouraging them to have a voice. Hey, if something feels off and this interferes with your prep, speak up and we're going to adjust. But he said the buy-in overall has been really, really strong because at the end of the day, they just want to win, guys.
Not an easy thing for a starter to adjust their routine, but the White Sox have made the plans known that this is what they're going to do if necessary. And it's going to be one of those things where a series by series case for this White Sox team.
Eric Fetty, who threw the ball very well in a White Sox uniform the first time around, trying to duplicate that again.
Chase Meidroth with the throw as Fetty retires his first batter.
We'll take a look at the arsenal for Eric tonight. That sinker he uses a third of the time. Backed up by the cutter and the sweeper. Doesn't throw too many changes. Don't look for that four-seamer. He's not a power pitcher. He depends on throwing ground balls. And he threw one on the first batter he faced.
This half inning is brought to you by Wintrust. Top of the second, no score as Ryan Mountcastle steps in the box here for the Orioles. For Mountcastle, just his second start of the season. The reason why they keep him on this team is 4 lefty pitches, but as we've said, they have not seen a lefty starter, so he has not gotten much action here in this year.
No, pretty hard to believe that you can go 10 or 11 games into the season and not see a left-handed starter, but that's the case. Many more right-handers than lefties. Mountcastle does have some big power.
1-2 pitch here from Fetty. Down the line in right field and slicing foul.
You can tell the game plan early. He's staying away from Mountcastle, who can't get it between the lines to this point. But he hasn't played in 5 games, and because of that, there's no doubt that he needed some ABs, or reps as they say, and he's getting a start against a couple of right-handers tonight. See the difference against the lefties. On base percentage, slugging, and home runs. He sees many more righties than lefties, but normally he's a stronger hitter against the left-handers.
He is battling there as Fetty continues to pound the strike zone ahead in the count here, 1-2. Just 22 relief outings in the career for Eric Fetty, 8 of them coming last year. That's because his 3rd team he pitched on last year, Milwaukee, he pitched mainly out of the bullpen for them.
Well, I also asked him if he had an opener before, and he said the first game he pitched for the Brewers, there was an opener because he didn't know if he would get there on time and be ready to go.
Take a seat.
Two strikeouts. This is a good breaking ball, low and away, a hard slider. You can tell he's holding it off to the side. And a lot of late break on that.
Cowser swings at the first one. Murakami keeps it himself. A nice 1-2-3 inning in the first inning of work for Eric Fetty. Well, the Stars are out here to start this 3-game series against the Orioles. White Sox looking to stay hot and make it 4 wins in a row. Nicely done, Eric Fetty, coming in as the bulk reliever now. Holds the Orioles off the board. We start this home half of the second inning as Austin Hayes, his first at bat here in the ball game. He faces his former squad here, the Baltimore Orioles. From 2017 to 24. Hayes played his time in Baltimore, including that great season he had in 2023 when he was an all-star.
Well, there's a lot of incentive against a team that let you go. And for Hayes, he's getting a look at him in the regular season game. So you know that he's bearing down as much as he possibly can. Because there's nothing more thrilling if you're a pitcher than beating the team that let you go. And if you're a hitter, tormenting them offensively.
I'm glad you say that, because the career numbers for Mr. Hayes versus the Orioles 8 for 15. That is a .533 batting average, including a double, a home run, and 2 runs batted in.
Pretty stout numbers.
Even on a cold night like this, no batting gloves. The throwback for Austin Hayes. Just hope he doesn't hit a stinger tonight.
We just don't like inside fastballs when you're not wearing gloves.
It's this one hard, and he loves to hit against the Orioles. A single in his first at bat tonight.
He ran the count full and then took advantage of it, driving it through the left side. This is a slider. You can see that little dot in the back of the baseball. It'll tell you that it is a slider. The problem with this, it didn't slide, and so he takes it through the left side, and a promising way to start the second inning, as both teams left a man at second base in that first inning, and neither team scored.
Andrew Benintendi fouls off the first pitch there. Benintendi trying to get his timing dialed in here early in the season, as Benny is in year 4 of a 5-year $75 million contract. Oh, 2. Majority of the starts for Benintendi have been DH so far here early in the season. But in the offseason, the work, he said, was prioritizing his health, making sure his legs stay healthy throughout the entire year this year.
Not an easy thing to do when you start advancing age-wise in this game.
So eloquent how you say it.
You know,
someone's getting older.
Yeah, well, that's true. And most amazing thing is the Sox wanted him out of the University of Arkansas, and they had the 8th pick in the draft, but the Red Sox had the 7th pick and took Benny.
2-2 inside. White Sox making Young work here early.
Be interesting to see if Will decides he wants to run with Hayes to stay out of a double play situation.
3rd full count already for Brandon Young on the mound. When the runners are getting back standing up, you can tell the leads are not that big, or the move is not very good.
Young tried to do it as quickly as possible, but that was more of a show me move than I'm going to pick you off with this one.
There goes the runner. Has Benny a charge into right field at the wall, and it is caught by O'Neill as Hayes races back to the bag at first. All right, it's time for our lines to watch, presented by Circa Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. We check out the odds to win the AL Central entering play tonight. White Sox with the longest odds, but Steve, to start the season, the White Sox were plus 4,800 to win the Central.
Well, win a few more games, and that's going to certainly be a little less inviting. Pretty inviting right now, by the way, with the Tigers still plus 120. Royals behind them, and the Guardians, who seem to find a way to stay near the top most each and every year, right at plus 300.
Certainly sounded like that ball off the bat of Benintendi was crushed. So we'll see how the ball is carrying here tonight.
Well, even with the wind blowing out, there wasn't a whole lot of carry on that one. Normally, if it's a day game, that's probably out of the park.
Here's the birthday boy as they check on Hayes.
You can listen to that, and it's a good sound, except it was up a little too high. And even though the wind is blowing out, not quite enough.
99.7 miles per hour off the bat of Benintendi. Another throw over.
And that's 2 of them, and apparently Young looks over and sees Ricky Henderson at first base. That's 2 early throws, the second of which, for the second time, he almost fell off the mound.
Well, happy birthday to Edgar Caro. It is hard to believe he is just 23 years old. Every time we stop at his locker and have a conversation, he is so poised, so mature. Runner goes, swung on, missed, throw down to second. And Hayes is caught stealing.
He's got him.
This copyrighted
We start this top of the third here at the rate. This half inning is brought to you by Hyundai. It was Grant Taylor, the opener, went 1 inning. Eric Fetty came on in the second, retired the Orioles in order, and he will face 8-9-1 in the lineup to start this third inning. On a day like today, when the temperatures are a little cold, wind is blowing, do you do anything different as a starting pitcher on the mound to prepare for an outing like this?
I don't think there's much you can do except make sure that you're good and loose before you go out there, because it's going to be a little difficult if you haven't warmed your whole body up. Certainly, you have to worry about the grip on the ball. They give you the rosin bag out there to get a better grip, and I got to tell you, it's fair to partly useless. I would grab the rosin bag and my hands would be slicker than they were before the rosin bag. So there it is. It really does a nice job right by the thing that cleans your spikes.
But when you play in Chicago, you know the first 2 months of the season, it is all part of it. You're going to have to deal with some cold temperatures.
Normally some wet conditions. I think the cold temperatures are a whole lot easier than if it's a steady little drizzle during the game, because as good as Roger and his crew make that mound, it still gets a little slick if it's raining during the game.
Fastball just missing from Fetty. Looking to retire third baseman Kobe Mayo to start this third. Got him swinging. How about some news and notes? We go to Connor.
John, the Blue Jays flew home wounded after the White Sox took all 3 over the weekend. It is a World Series rematch on now. The Dodgers are in Toronto, and they lead it 4-1 in the 4th. Jose Soriano has been nails to start the season. 12 shutout innings, 11 strikeouts for the Angels starter. He's on a roll and starts again tonight. No lineup tougher than the Astros right now. They've scored 70 runs, 23 better than the next AL team. For the record, the Giants have scored just 26 all season.
I'm going to go on a limb and say Connor is near a heater, because just where that little pullover, that is some strength out there tonight, Connor.
No, he's a hardy guy. So I would think that he's feeling pretty good about the conditions at this point. Just starting to get loose. He always got that little light on the back of his head, and I think that's actually a heat lamp.
I got the full-on coat here in the booth. It is freezing.
Midwest raised, guys. Midwest raised.
So Eric Fetty has retired the first 5 he has faced, including 2 strikeouts on the mound. And top of the order is Taylor Ward.
For the most part, Fetty is staying away from these right-hand hitters.
You do not see Taylor Ward take the bat off his shoulder much. His swing rate is 31%, second lowest in Major League Baseball to start this season.
He's very selective.
This one is shot to the gap in right center, but Peters is there. 6 up, 6 down for Eric Fetty. When we come back, Davis Martin will be live in the dugout on the mic. He was just absolutely sensational against the Blue Jays.
Springfield
Welcome back. I'm here with Davis Martin. 6 scoreless from you, Davis. Yesterday, just how do you reflect on your start?
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of really good stuff happening. I mean, just all the pitches were there. Q called a great game. And you can't talk about yesterday being scoreless without Tanner Murray's play up the middle. And, you know, that was just an incredible play, especially for his first game in the big leagues. Just a lot of fun.
So he was kind of your dark horse of spring training, and your reaction said it all. Just kind of take me through that moment.
Yeah, I mean, you're just saying, obviously the situation's the situation, and you see that ball, and at first you're like, all right, 2 runs, and then you're like, oh, maybe 1 run, and then you see the ball come out of his hands. You're like, oh my gosh, he might actually have a play on this, and Mooney makes an incredible pick, and then you just start freaking out. So it was awesome.
We had a strong start from you yesterday, but it seems like this pitching staff as a whole was really clicking in the last series. How would you describe just the belief in this group right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just early. I think, you know, we're playing game 10 right now, and everybody's trying to get their feet wet in a big league season. And sit. You know, everybody's trying to get their feet wet in a big league season. You get a few outings, and the routine kind of starts settling in, and then you kind of just go back to business. And it's not so much, you know, fluff around the whole opening days and all that stuff.
You know, Brian Bannister yesterday was talking about how there was a lot of new with the staff and the R&D and just everything coming together. Tough task going up against Milwaukee, but how would you describe the job that Zach Bove and the staff have done just to bring everybody together and get on the same page?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, they brought in a lot of information, and I think it was new to a lot. Obviously, everything they're going to bring to us is a little different than what we're used to, and so you know, just getting the buy-in. We all kind of, you know, gave our input, they gave their input, and then now everybody seems to be on the same page, and I think it's really good, and I think we're hitting the ground running with that.
Okay, we know Grant Taylor is good, but did you know that he was going to be this good in this opener role? Another strong start from him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Grant's stuff's incredible. You know, I think he's settling into whatever this role is. You know, he's an incredible competitor, and I think he's one of those guys where you go tell him to throw any inning, any time, any weather, he's going to go out there and do it to the best of his ability.
You know, he was keeping his composure on the mound, and you're doing a great job keeping your composure right now. Guys are throwing seeds at you. Okay, Mike Vasil, I noticed he's not in the dugout tonight. What's the deal? Why he's back in the bullpen?
He just plays favorites. I think he tries to make everyone happy, and you know, I think if someone doesn't live up to his expectations, maybe the starters make him mad. He wants to go to the bullpen, and then when the bullpen, you know, gets boring, he comes back over here. He's just a roaming creature, and you know, I'm sure he's watching that in the bullpen right now. And so, yeah, just the fact that he switched up and said he was going to hang out with us after a series sweep, you know, it's on Mike.
You don't seem bitter about it at all.
No, not at all. Not a second.
Davis, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, bro.
Guys, back to you.
Good stuff. Davis Martin leading the charge for the starting rotation after shutting down the Blue Jays yesterday. He talks about Tanner Murray, the young 26-year-old making his big league debut yesterday. I caught up with Tanner Murray at his locker today. I said, well, what was that like for you? He said, I'm not really sure because I blacked out the first few innings. I couldn't really feel my legs. He said, but then when it sunk in, he said that was just an all-around cool experience.
Well, there's a number of facets to this game, and everybody believes that when you help your team win, it's usually going to be swinging the bat. And we saw yesterday a couple of pop-ups from Murray, but he made the play that actually saved the game and turned everything around at the time.
Rate is a proud partner of the 2026 White Sox. The Rate app gives Chicago fans an all-in-one wellness app with tools to build financial strength and guidance for fitness and stress management. Feel better, live better, play better. 2-2 the count here to Chase Mydroff. Grounder off the mound and into center field. Second hit of the ball game for the White Sox.
Chase with a walk to lead off the game. Picks on a splitter. Now this isn't a bad pitch, but Chase goes down and gets it. You can hang splitters just as much as you can hang anything. That was not a hanging splitter. That was a decent one that didn't go straight down enough. Kind of settled.
Second at bat for Munetaka Murakami. A ground out in the first. And every time Mydroff has got on, a ton of throw-overs to first base.
Well, Young has fallen off the mound a couple of times, so he's risking throwing one away because on that throw to first, he doesn't seem to have much balance.
High fly ball into right field. This one will stay in the ballpark as O'Neill is there. This half inning brought to you by Elgin Hyundai as it comes to an end, still scoreless after 3.
I'm still learning.
ブルーズはあなたのためにあります。
Yuki trying to
He's everywhere. There's 5 Yukis out there, Bulls Nation.
That's so many Yukis.
CHSN, your home for Bulls basketball.
Top of the fourth we go. Scoreless. This half inning is brought to you by Toyota. Hats, hoodies, blankets, come prepared at the rate here tonight. It has not affected Eric Fetty on the mound, as he has retired the first 6 Orioles that he has faced.
That young lady looks a little irritated. I think she thought the Sox would score by now.
Oh, she just wants a good cuddle. That's what it is. Yeah, bring that blanket up a little higher. 1-2 here to Gunnar Henderson. As Fetty got it going early on. Let's go to Brooke for a get to know your Sox.
Yeah, and this time we're featuring the birthday boy, Edgar Caro. So, of course, we did a birthday edition, because why not? I asked what his favorite birthday cake flavor is, and he told me strawberry cake with strawberry icing. His favorite thing to do on his birthday, he said he just likes to relax. He's not really big into doing a bunch of stuff on his birthday. And I asked, well, what are you asking for? What can we get you for your birthday? He said clothes. He told Connor and me last night if we wanted to bring him some clothes today. We definitely failed on that, gentlemen. If you have some presents up there for Edgar, he's taking them in the clubhouse.
Okay, well, you are our expert on all things fashion, Brooke.
Oh,
if you're gonna bring something for Edgar, you've been around him now for a year and a little bit here this season. What do you think his style is? What's his vibe? What would you bring him?
He definitely likes color. If you take a look at all of his equipment, he's got neon colors, bright colors. So I think and I've seen him wear some sweatshirts, some hoodies. So I think if you can bring him something like that, I think we're in good shape. Also a big sneaker guy too.
Well, it's the spikes. I mean, we saw them before the game. They're really good looking. And he's got many colors in his locker. He has a pair of spikes that's bright orange, and I said maybe not those tonight.
In the air to right center, backing up is Acuna. Nice adjustment to make that catch on Pete Alonso. Join us tomorrow, $5 Tuesdays. All fans will enjoy a specially priced $5 concessions menu, including Miller Lite draft beers. You got Garrett popcorn, Stadium buttery, Vienna beef hot dogs or Polish sausages, Beggar's pizza slices, nachos, and select Coca-Cola products. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/Tuesdays. And as a reminder, if you do have tickets for tomorrow night, the game has been moved up to 2 o'clock due to the weather. It is going to be absolutely frigid tomorrow night.
There was a chance that by game time, maybe a little bit later, it was going to be as low as 29 degrees. And so they figured, you know what? 2 o'clock game sounds a whole lot nicer. It's not going to be great, but it's going to be a lot better than it would have been at 6:40 and beyond that.
Will Venable talked about it today, and he said not only is it good for the fans, but also you got to put player safety in mind. When you have temperatures that are that cold, you don't want to get anybody injured this early in the season. Other teams around the league are also making adjustments because of the weather moving across the country. So when you can make the change, the White Sox doing the right thing by moving the game time up.
Well, Toronto has a little bit worse news than getting swept, and that's Max Scherzer was taken out after 2 innings of work against the Dodgers.
Uh-oh.
And at his age and the amount of innings he has under his belt, anytime he leaves a game that early, it has to be cause for concern.
Blue Jays fans were excited about that start against the Dodgers. The veteran, to try to get them back on track, but that is certainly not good news. 3-2 pitch here from Fetty. And he loses Rutschman. First batter he is allowed to reach tonight.
Sox fans, 160 games on Chicago Sports Network means you won't miss a moment this season. It's your home for White Sox baseball. You can stream every game plus pre and post game coverage with Chuck and Ozzy, all on CHSN, the app, and start your 7-day free trial today at subscribe.chsn.com. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead.
Tyler O'Neill 0 for 1 with a ground out in the second inning. Had a good spring for Baltimore. Also played for Team Canada as part of the World Baseball Classic. But he's kind of fallen back into a traditional pattern of his. He had a ton of swing and miss last year, and we're seeing that again this early part of the season. Tyler O'Neill, also a guy who loves to live in the weight room, but he is not as bulked up as he was last year. Trying to be a little more mobile, a little more agile.
Well, strength has never been his problem. He's always been very strong. And he was hitting the ball really hard all spring.
A few pitches are starting to miss up for Fetty here in this fourth inning. In the air down the left field line, this is going to be a tough one. And pulling up is Hayes. It does not look good for him as he is hobbling off one foot. The throw home, not in time. And the White Sox are going to have to check on Austin Hayes as he ran after that ball and left, but then pulled up.
Yeah, anytime. I mean, you can see the frustration on his face. He was off to a pretty nice start this year, and in an ice cold evening, he drifts over and right there.
And Steve, this is the concern in this weather.
Yep. And that's, you know, you're looking at most likely hamstring, maybe a calf. Whatever it is, that particular walk is not really encouraging.
It was going to be a tough one to get to either way, but then when you saw Hayes pull up, Adley Rutschman noticed that, and he was able to score all the way from first.
Yeah, he just kept on running, and the surprising part of this is that O'Neill is still standing on first base. To me, you got to be standing on second right now.
So the concern is for Austin Hayes, the veteran, who will be taken out of this game with 2 outs in this fourth inning. And Hill will be inserted as the new left fielder for the White Sox. We talked about the concern for pitchers in this cold weather, how you stay warm, but it's also for fielders, right? You got us to have a little motion now because the temperatures are starting to dip here later on as we go in this night.
And also a pitcher is repeatedly asking his body to perform pitch after pitch, but as an outfielder or an infielder, you're just standing there waiting for somebody to hit the baseball to you. And again, with the cold and the wind tonight, it's just not an ideal situation.
So we wish the best for Austin Hayes as we will wait for the report on him. Mountcastle serves that one into right field. As Tyler O'Neill, he will go first to third, and thankfully he was not on second base because he would have scored on that.
Yeah, I believe he was a spectator in that ball. He dropped down the left field line. There's a slider. Mountcastle off the end of the bat squibs it into right field, and that's the second run of the ball game if O'Neill is standing at second instead of first.
Little things in the game when you're not playing well show up later, as this Orioles team has scuffled to start this season.
Got to be careful with Cowser throwing him fastballs. This is a guy that just doesn't hit changeups, and that's been a recurring theme for him. But if you get careless with a fastball, he's got very quick hands. He can get around on just about anything.
44% of the pitches that he has seen this season are off-speed pitches. The book is out.
I was going to say, until he adjusts to that, he's going to see some more of those consistently.
There is an off-speed pitch to Cowser as the breaking ball falls in there. 1-1 the count. Runners on at the corners for the Orioles with 2 outs in this 4th inning. When you know a guy like this does not hit off-speed pitches, how often can you use the fastball to keep him honest?
Well, the approach that Cowser's had during the course of his very young career, you can pretty much say, hey, a changeup's coming, and he's not going to wait back far enough. I mean, he's always out on the front foot, and he moves his hands, and that's a problem.
So your approach is just keep giving him off speed until he proves you otherwise.
If you go to a fastball, you want to go to it face high. You don't have to throw him a strike with a fastball. You can throw the off speed stuff for strikes and use the fastball to give him a different look, just not a hittable one.
2-2, buries it. 1 run scored as Orioles lead it 1-0.
Experience the world.
We're going to show you the reason it's not 2-0. Tyler O'Neill looks up and says, well, that's got to be a foul ball, so I'll just go back to the plate. No, it's not going to be a foul ball, so I'll keep the bat in my hand and trot to first. If he's at second, he scores. He's not, he doesn't, then it's only 1-0.
All right, Brooke, what's the latest on Austin Hayes?
Yeah, guys, I'm told he left tonight's game with a right hamstring strain. He's going to undergo further evaluation, but not a good sign for him. You could see the emotion on his face when he got into the dugout.
All right, certainly disappointing. Thank you, Brooke, for the update. Certainly last few years I've been here, first 2 months of the season have not been pretty to the White Sox in terms of injuries in cold weather. Schedule is a little more favorable this year in terms of away games. But for the White Sox, when you're playing better baseball, just get out of these first few months just healthy.
First 2 series were domes, always a good thing.
Tapper to short. And it's got a Henderson with the throw as Vargas is retired. This half inning is brought to you by Davis Law.
One of the things they're doing with Colson Montgomery is throwing him a lot of face-high fastballs when they get ahead. And as a very young hitter, it's not the easiest thing to lay off, but he's going to have to do that or he's going to see that consistently. You get it in the zone and he's going to hit it hard.
Right on cue.
There's your face-high fastball, and now he's in a hole. So again, the difference between 1-0 and 0-1 is a lot of points on your batting average if you start out one way or the other.
The four-seam fastball by Brandon Young. Last year, the numbers, he was very effective. Righties hit it just 150. Lefties, though, hit it a lot better. This one on the ground, up the middle, backhanded. Jackson falling away, makes the throw.
This Thursday, all three hometown teams take the stage live. The Bulls, the Blackhawks, and our Sox in one epic night on Chicago Sports Network. With the CHSN app and all access plan, you can stream every game live, even at the same time across 3 devices. 3 teams, 1 stream-packed night. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead.
Derek Hill.
He almost ran into that. He shortened a bunt, and as he was coming toward the plate, that ball was up and a little bit in. Watch it again.
Oof.
So he shows the bunt and then has to duck out of the way.
Hill was inserted into this game defensively when Austin Hayes, running in left, pulled up and now has that hamstring strain. The reason why you go out and get a Derek Hill, and he makes this club for opening day for reasons like this. He's the 4th outfielder. If somebody goes down, he can play all 3 outfield positions.
That was a spot that had some positions open in spring training. The infield was pretty solid. It was the outfield where the Sox were looking for some answers.
Hill helped start this win streak on Friday. As we take a look at this last swing. Oh, oof, not the spot you want to take it.
No, absolutely not. Cold night, warm night, medium night. Nah, you don't want that one.
No nights. Was it yesterday he took one off the face?
Yeah, I think what Hill has to work on, and he'll be doing this, is try to foul the ball off and not get hit. Because right now he's getting hit with everything he fouls off.
Two down here in this home half of the 4th inning. All right, so this was the pitch he fouled off yesterday.
That was a tough one. That got from the beard to that. I'm thinking the beard's better.
I feel like I felt that one all the way up here. He is battling here in his first at bat of the night. 3-2. Off the plate. Ball 4. Looked like Brandon Young maybe wanted to challenge that one, but he decided not to. Here's Andrew Benintendi. A flyout his first time up, just missing a home run to right field. When Benny is going good, those pitches, the first one of the at bat, he's not fouling off, he is driving them somewhere.
Well, he got a whole lot of the first at bat in the second inning, but unfortunately not quite enough.
Runner goes. A late steal. Nobody covering.
And Rutschman looked up. This is a good base running play, because by the time Rutschman realized that Hill was going, he just didn't have a play. He made the courtesy throw, but it was pretty useless at that point.
And now that one gets away from Rutschman. So Hill, the wide turn at third.
We'll take another look at it. This is a splitter right into the ground, and for some reason Adley Rutschman decided that he wanted to backhand this. Now Hill wasn't running. This was not real good technique by Rutschman. This is in the middle of his body, and you have to turn the glove over, cover up the 5-hole, and make sure this one doesn't get by you.
So the wild pitch. Driving to left field. Ward drifting back. And that'll do it for the fourth inning as Hill is stranded at third. White Sox look to make it 4 wins in a row, but it's an early lead for the Orioles, 1-0 after 4. We start the fifth here at the rate. Orioles with a 1-0 lead. This half inning is brought to you by St. Xavier University. Eric Fetty did a nice job limiting the damage in the fourth, allowing just 1 run. Orioles with 3 hits, White Sox with 2. As 8-9-1 to the plate. Kobe Mayo struck out his first time up in the third, one of the 4 strikeout victims for Eric Fetty today. Fetty likes pitching against the Orioles. In his career against Baltimore, he is 2-1 with an ERA of 1.26 in 5 games, 4 of them being starts.
This is a night you figured it would be a low-scoring game because of the conditions. Sox only down a run in this one. Plenty of time left.
That is when Fetty is at his best. Everything is diving down to the bottom part of the zone, and he's trying to get ground balls. In the air, Acuna broke back, now has to race in, and he's not going to get there. So a single for Kobe Mayo. All right, before we get there, how about a little trivia? The only Orioles pitcher to win 25 games in a season. Oh, yeah, that magical 1980. And he is with us in the booth. My gosh, Steve Stone. 1980. Do you still dream about that year?
I do. And the interesting part was they were giving away wins in those days. I mean, it's different now. You got to really work hard to get some wins. But then they just pretty much gave you one if you hung around long enough in a game. But we had a really good team. Hall of Fame manager in Earl Weaver, Jim Palmer, a Hall of Famer, Eddie Murray, a Hall of Famer. So that was a team that did a lot of things right, and their philosophy was a winning philosophy. They felt that the other team was going to make a mistake late, and then the Orioles were going to bury him with that one mistake.
Vargas, this could be two. Starts it off. Mike drop to first. Double play turn. 5-4-3.
You got to do that one pretty quickly because Jackson can run, and Vargas with a nice job, but the turn of my drop at second base was really quick. It's our Steinhoffel's double play. Steinhoffel's donates $200 to Special Spaces Illinois for every double play. Double plays that make a difference, and that one certainly does. When you get the leadoff man on, you erase him with a double play, and you get a very happy pitcher out of it.
When you have a season like that where you're in a groove, where it seems like every time you get the ball, you're walking away with the win, do you figure out your routine? Do you get a little superstitious and try to keep things the same?
I would think, especially at home where you have control over timing and everything else, not so much on the road. But yeah, very superstitious. I used to get up, eat at the same place every day, eat the exact same thing every day, then go to a bookstore, take a walk, and come home and do meditations and envision 27 outs, because by that point in my career I'd faced all these guys a lot. Envision 27 outs, getting each and every guy out 3 times, and that was my meditation heading into the game. Then the same music on the tape. Yes, we had cassettes in those days. Same tape, 4 songs. Took 4 songs to get from my house to the ballpark, and it was the same thing each and every day at home. And the 2 years where I was healthy, 22-4 in Baltimore. The road, a little bit different story because you're in different spots. You can't do the same thing, but getting in a rhythm and doing the same things, I thought was something that would work out pretty well, and that's how it turned out.
How many crab cakes over the course of that season?
In those days, when you could afford crab cakes, no, there's nothing like the crab cakes around the Baltimore, Chesapeake Bay area.
Bopped up. Murakami in foul territory. Will squeeze it for the 3rd out here in this top of the 5th. White Sox trail 1-0.
Welcome back. Leading things off for the White Sox, and there's just something about birthdays that seem to bring out the best in you, and that's the case for Edgar, who turns 23 today. He told me he's actually hit a homer on almost every birthday. Well, he was trying to go for a homer here, guys, but he told me last year he actually hit a homer in Charlotte. He was 0 for 3 before finally breaking through with a 2-run shot. So the game's not over. He still has time to maybe get a homer and continue that tradition.
All right, we hope it will come at some point here tonight for Edgar Kara as he grounds out to start this home half of the 5th. And that'll bring up Tristan Peters, the walk-off hero on Friday. Swings at the first one, pops it up right side. Pete Alonso calling for it. And 2 quick outs for the Sox. This half inning is brought to you by Prevagen.
Young has done a really nice job in a tough situation for the Orioles. They had to have somebody come through, and Young has gotten them into the 5th inning with a 1-0 lead. You can't really ask for much more. Get a picture of Craig Albarnez looking over his lineup card, figuring out exactly what he wants to do, who he wants to go to in that bullpen.
Well, he knows he only has one lefty arm available in the bullpen, Grant Wolfram. That's because Cade Povich went yesterday, actually saved the entire bullpen, went 5 2/3 innings pitched for the Orioles, as Chris Bassett did not have a good outing and he was pulled early.
Yeah, I mean, pretty amazing when you can go into your bullpen and get close to 6 innings out of one of your relievers. That really helps the ball club. Win or lose that game, it helps the team because you don't decimate your bullpen with no off days coming into Chicago.
Acuna straightaway center. And for Brandon Young, just a 6-pitch inning as we end the 5th.
When choosing the right
Join us at the ballpark on Friday, April 24th, as the White Sox take on the Washington Nationals at 6:30. 10,000 fans will receive this, a Miguel Vargas bobblehead presented by Fanatics. Plus, it is the first City Connect Friday of the season. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos. There is Miguel Vargas rocking the chain tonight.
This will be a tough inning to get through, but an inning that if Eric can get through it. Meidroth leads off the Sox half of the 6th, and he's 1 for 1 with a walk, so he's been up twice, he's been on twice.
A loud shot into right field. And will it stay fair?
Yes.
Yes, it will. Gunnar Henderson with his 3rd home run of the season, a solo shot to start this 6th. And the Orioles take a 2-0 lead.
Henderson knew he got most of that one, and the only thing, would it stay fair long enough? And the answer was yes. Mike Esterbrook on the call. It's hooking, but unfortunately this hanging slider doesn't hook quite enough. Henderson gets pretty good part of the bat on it and takes it right down the line. A towering fly ball that is fair.
This is an Orioles team that has lost 5 of their last 6 games, including getting swept this past weekend in Pittsburgh. And in those 5 losses, the team has scored a combined 15 runs. So it's been the offense has been not working so far. Defensively, they've had a lot of miscues. And their starting pitching has not been good to start the season.
No, but that's been the biggest problem. The Orioles, normally a pretty good defensive team, are having a very tough year defensively at this point.
Pete Alonso straightaway center. As Acuna makes the grab. It's time now for the GovX hero of the game.
The Chicago White Sox and GovX are proud to honor our hero of the game. Now we pay tribute to Staff Sergeant Jordan Jensen of the United States Marine Corps.
Well, the GovX hero of the game, when everyone gets to stand up and salute our heroes. Adley Rutschman walked and scored in the 4th inning. That was the play where he scored all the way from first when Austin Hayes pulled up with a hamstring injury in left field.
Rutschman out of Oregon State was 1-1 in the draft. Switch hitting catchers with the talent that he has are hard to come by. Last couple of years he's had monumental slumps in the middle of the season, but the Orioles feel that his best baseball is ahead of him. This is a very talented guy who's catching probably defensively as well as he ever has this year.
He's been getting on base. With the walk in the 4th, he has reached base safely in his first 8 games to start the season. His streak last year reached base in his first 14 games in 2025. Here's the payoff. There's a lot of young stars, and then you add the offseason additions, guys like Pete Alonso. You can understand why the expectations were super high coming off of a really tough last year where the Orioles finished in last place in the AL East.
Well, the Orioles also know that it's pretty tough in the East this year.
My drop smothers it from the grass, makes the throw, out number 2.
What a fine play by Chase as he goes to his left. Make sure this one doesn't get by him. And Rutschman, who has not great but pretty good speed for a catcher especially, can't beat the play. Good job by Chase, and they get the job done.
Chase Maidra spent a lot of work in the offseason working on his body, working on his agility, trying to free up his hips, and you can see it play out on that throw there to first.
He's also getting much better in turning the double play. He gets rid of the ball very quickly. The double play from Vargas to him to first. You can't make the return throw to first base much quicker than Maidra did. And the key is getting a good throw from Vargas.
It's something we saw in that second half of last year. The chemistry for all the infield, especially up the middle, really starting to form.
Well, if you got a good relationship with your shortstop, if you're a second baseman, you're going to turn a lot of double plays.
This one to Montgomery. On the move, makes the throw. After giving up the leadoff home run, Fetty settles down, but White Sox trail.
As part of one of the
Are you ready for your winning moment? Find it at Wind Creek Chicago Southland, where the action never stops. Play the hottest table games, enjoy the newest slots, and celebrate big jackpots. At Wind Creek, there's a win waiting for you around every corner.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game. It is Tyler Wells. He's been in 4 games. The ERA is a very good 2.91. Now, for the most part, he stays away from the right-hand hitters. His four-seam fastball, 37%. Changeup backs it up at 23%. Then the slider and the cutter. Don't look for too many curves.
Top of the order for the White Sox here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, as Chase Mydroth has been on base twice tonight, a walk and a single. Delivers this one into left field as Chase Mydroth will take the big turn, shut it down. His second hit of the night.
We talked about it before last inning that the Sox moved to the top of the order with Mydroth, who's been on base now 3 times. A leadoff walk in the first and then a couple of singles. So in a 2-run ball game, anytime anybody gets on, you're facing the tying run.
Looking for Monet to do something special here in the 6th inning. Swings at the first one, pops it up foul territory. Alonso near his own dugout, and he does make the catch. Time now for a message from Ankin Law.
Howard, my husband fell at a construction site. I knew it wasn't safe.
At Ankin Law, we're one of the largest filers of workers' compensation claims in the state. If you've been hurt on the job, in a car accident, or suffered a medical mistake, call 312-6-million.
Miguel Vargas, a couple ground outs to short to start his night. How excited was Will Venable to talk about Miguel Vargas today in our meeting with him? Just all the growth he has taken, especially defensively at third base.
Well, I think he's becoming a much more well-rounded player, and for a fairly big guy, he's got good speed and he's a good base stealer.
Rutschman not able to squeeze that one as Mydroth takes second.
Rutschman had no idea where the ball was. He was turning around in almost circles. Once again, tries to backhand it. That's a part of his game that he might want to shore up a bit. This one gets away. And Mydroth coasts into second base.
Vargas in a good hitting count here, 2-0. A chance to cut into this Orioles lead. Another backhand by Rutschman, but this time he keeps it in front of him.
This was much more of a short hop. This didn't have a chance to hop over the glove. We'll take another look. Looks like a slider. He backhands balls in the middle of his body. Now if Miguel sees the same pitch, might have a chance of going over the left field wall. 2 runs down. It was a take all the way at 3-0.
3 balls and a strike to count as Vargas, big swing, comes up empty. Vargas hit his 7th career triple yesterday. Off that ball to straightaway center, went all the way to the fence. See what he can do here. Three-two pitch. Sox fans, start planning your group outing to the ballpark. We offer party areas of all sizes. It's ideal for any group, including the fan deck. We can host a pregame patio party. You can tailor your game day with the perfect spot for you and your guests. For more information, visit whitesox.com/party areas or call 312-674-1000. Swing and a miss, and 2 away here in the 6th.
Wells went to the slider on the 3-2 pitch, and he got it on the outer third. Wells, more than any of their relievers, loves to go with face-high fastballs to left-hand hitters.
We said only one lefty arm available in the bullpen for the Orioles. So Colson Montgomery facing the righty Tyler Wells. Second, that one's going to get into center field. Mydroth, he will take off. It has been some sloppy play from Adley Rutschman behind the plate.
Normally a pretty dependable defensive catcher. And it looked a bit like Colson might have gotten a bit in the way, but there was no contact.
So E2 on Rutschman's throw, allowing Mydroth to get to third. Broken bat popped up left side as Mayo will put an end to this 6th inning. White Sox trail the opener here against the Orioles.
That swordfish won me the turn.
Kawamura, a three!
Yuki Mania.
Stream the boots now.
Here is
Oh, nice
Gonzalez.
pass! Set the table up, Yuki!
You watching Bulls basketball.
Look at Yuki!
But he won the tap! He won the tap!
ブルズはあなたのためにあります。
Yuki trying to
He's everywhere! There's 5 Yukis out there, Bulls Nation!
That's so many Yukis!
CHSN. Your home for Bulls basketball.
Low-scoring affair here in this opening game of a 3-game set against the Orioles as we start this 7th inning. White Sox down 2-0. White Sox decided to use an opener once again. Grant Taylor got the start today for the 3rd time in 4 days, and Eric Fedde came on to start the 2nd inning. Slow roll to the left side. It is cut off by Farkas, but he can't glove it. So Mountcastle will reach to start this 7th inning.
We'll see how they score this one. It probably should have been played. Miguel is there, just can't go down and get it, but they're giving him a base hit. That's 2 hits for Mountcastle, and neither would dent the scoreboard with velocity.
Colton Cowser struck out on a changeup his last time up, and an off-speed pitch to start this at bat.
Good softer slider inside on the hands, and staying back is a problem for him on anything off speed.
One ball, one strike. Off speed, way out in front.
No reason to change anything.
It's amazing what a scouting report will do. It's also amazing that you know that as a hitter, and adjustments aren't being made at this point.
No, he's got a lot of talent, but for some reason, staying back on the off-speed pitch is problematic for him.
He's always had really good hands, really fast hands, which helps him get away with a lot of things. But at this level, they are going to expose your weaknesses.
Well, just about everybody who gets to the major leagues as a hitter can hit a fastball. If you can't hit a fastball, then you look for something else to do. But normally, you gear up for the fastball, and you will adjust on down to the off-speed pitch. Cowser has not adjusted well.
Fedde's pitch count getting up there, getting ready to throw pitch number 85 here tonight.
You must be feeling good because nobody's been up in the pen.
In the air to right center field. It is Peters just shy of the warning track. And the first out here in this 7th inning.
Tomorrow on CHSN Plus, the Bulls go toe-to-toe with the Wizards. Coverage tips off at 5:30 with Bulls Countdown Live. So don't miss a moment. Stream it on the Chicago Sports Network app with the All Access plan. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead.
All right, so this matches the longest career relief outing for Eric Fedde. He threw 5 1/3 against these Orioles back in 2020. Grounded up the middle. Mydroth, he will race to the bag himself, steps on it, throw to first, double play. Nicely turned by Chase Mydroth to get out of this top of the 7th.
It's our Steinhafels double play. Steinhafels donates $200 to Special Spaces Illinois for every double play. Double plays that make a difference. Watch Eric Fetty on this one as he pulls his glove back. For all you young pitchers out there, you have to know the alignment of your defense. If you do, you pull the glove back. If not, if you don't know where Mydroth is, you might deflect that ball and you don't get the double play. So check where the defense is before you make a pitch, and you'll have a pretty good idea whether you should go after something on the mound or let it go, in this case, into a double play 4-3.
Nice job by the infield to get out of the top of the 7th. As Derek Hill will start things off here for the Sox. 5, 6, 7 coming to the plate.
Mayo is in at the cut of the grass at third base as they realize the Sox will bunt if you give them the opportunity.
Derek Hill, his first plate appearance was in the 4th inning where he walked, stole second, advanced to third with a wild pitch, but he was stranded there as the White Sox still blanked tonight against the Orioles. Temperatures like this, does it favor the pitcher or the hitter?
I believe it favors the pitcher, because once you get loose, you're not going to tighten up on the mound because you're continually working. You're moving around, you're throwing a lot of pitches.
Strike 3 called as Derek Hill is going to challenge. Not sure if the mic is working for Malachi Moore, but we look at the challenge and the call is overturned. It is a ball, not strike 3.
Missed by almost an inch off the outside corner. Now entering today, total overturned is a little over 50%, but overturned by fielders is 60%. Most of those catchers. And you really shouldn't miss inside outside. It's up and down where a lot of catchers have missed.
How about that challenge by Hill? Turns to a strikeout and now a walk, and now a trip down on the farm and go to Connor.
All right, John, we'll start in Winston-Salem, where the Dash won the second game of a doubleheader yesterday. Both Caleb Bonner and George Wolko with nice nights. Wolko went yard. Up in Double-A, Samuel Zavala off to a good start. Just 3 games, but that'll work. And Sam Antonacci at Triple-A has started the year on a 7-game hit streak. He's playing very well, and now a top 100 prospect. If you look at the Baseball America top 100, good stuff.
Sam Antonacci knocking on the doors of the big leagues.
He's a talented player, and with the idea that Chase Mydroth is playing an outstanding second base, they're trying to teach Sam how to play some outfield, because with his bat and his ability to get on base, you got to play him somewhere. Now last year, if you haven't heard a whole lot about him, he was hit 39 times. His whole idea is to get on base. That's a good attribute to have if you have power on your team, because he's going to be a premier table setter.
And think about all the experience he got playing for Team Italy. He was the leadoff hitter on Team Italy with that run they made in the WBC.
Really gives young players a chance to see the highest level of baseball, and playing for your country or a relative's country, it's kind of nice.
Benintendi, a blast, but pulls it foul.
Follow our White Sox at chicagosportsnet.com, presented by Nationwide Insurance agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at jeffvuk.com, because Nationwide is on your side.
2-2 pitch.
Benintendi's hit the ball hard twice. He has 0 for 2 to show for it. It was a towering fly ball, almost made it out in the second inning, and a line drive rocket to left in the 4th inning.
Good speed with Hill on at first as the pitch missing outside, and it's now full.
Lucas Sims throwing in the Sox pen.
There goes Hill. Strikeout, throw down to second, and Rutschman's one hopper not in time, so a stolen base.
It looks like Gunnar Henderson thinks that he caught the heel on the steal. We'll have to see as they appeal. Dr. Seuss anywhere around here?
So the Orioles will challenge.
Yep.
Baltimore is challenging the safe call at second base.
Right here, he looks like that leg is off the base and the glove is on the back of the leg.
All right, we're in a Northwestern Medicine Manager's Challenge. We're taking a second look at the play. It's always a good idea to get a second opinion. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine. All right, let's see the full play, Steve.
And since that challenge came into play, more infielders are keeping the glove on the runner to see if he pops off the bag.
Wow. It is very slight, but
really,
it is
it's
coming
really
off
close,
the bag.
but you see a little daylight between the bag and his leg, and maybe in New York there won't be so much daylight.
What book did you read?
It is Eastern time zone, you know.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Baltimore will retain their challenge.
So the call is overturned as Derek Hill is caught stealing on the strikeout. Throw him out. MLB Plus is new for 2026. Stream MLB Network 24/7 in the United States and select out-of-market games every week. Plus, you get live radio broadcasts of every game, Game Day 3D, Big Inning, and minor league action. Edgar Caro here on his birthday, 0 for 2 tonight. When we had Davis Martin on earlier with Brooke, he was talking about his start yesterday. One of the first things he says was, I love the game that was called by Q. And you talk to the pitchers here throughout the clubhouse, they love Edgar Caro and just his ability to work and handle this pitching staff.
And when you think that he's just turning 23, and for the most part, since he came into professional baseball, he's pretty much been the youngest guy every place he's ever gone. You make it to the major leagues as early as he has, you have to smooth out your game. You have to learn a whole lot because responsibilities in this day and age for catchers are enormous.
And for a pitcher to say that, they have to trust what you do, the way you call the game. They trust your work ethic, how you prepare, how you go through scouting reports, how you look at hitters' tendencies. And Edgar Caro is one of the best. He puts in the work every single day. 1-2. In the air to center. Drifting back is Henderson, but it's Cowser, the center fielder, who will make the grab to end the 7th inning. Sox are blanked right now, 2-0.
The itch and rash.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. Marquette Bank is Chicagoland's trusted neighborhood bank and home lender. So level up your banking with Marquette Bank at emarquettebank.com. Marquette Bank, love where you bank. So Lucas Sims in the ball game last year in 18 games, covering 12 1/3. Well, he wants to forget about the rest.
First pitch from Sims, missing outside as he faces Jeremiah Jackson, bottom of the order here for Baltimore. Jackson, a looper into left field, as Hill will get it back in, a single to start this 8th inning.
This is a slider that stays upstairs, doesn't have any depth to it, and line drive base hit for Jackson to start it off.
It was another good start to the ball game for Grant Taylor. 3rd start in 4 days. Wanted to give some love to the late great knuckleballer, Mr. Durability, Wilbur Wood. He was the last White Sox pitcher to pull off that feat. He did it back in 1973. And when you look at some of the numbers for Wilbur Wood, he made 49 starts in 1972. And in a 3-year stretch, pitched over 300 innings in each of those years. One of the best to do it.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, I was his teammate in '73, and he just took the baseball, went to the mound, usually lasted very long into the game. And then it was Ron LaFleur who hit a line drive and shattered his knee, and he was really never the same pitcher after that. But for that period of time, the durability was unbelievable. And that knuckleball was great. You just don't find many left-handed knuckleballers as Wilbur Wood.
Wilbur Wood unfortunately passed away earlier this year in January. What is it about that pitch, the knuckleball, that we just don't see much in the game anymore?
Because you're taught as a very young person.
And it's Wolf sticking out the bat, popping to Mydroth. First out here in the 8th.
As a very young person, when you play baseball, regular baseball with a hard ball, you're taught to throw the ball with 2 fingers and to pretty much break your wrist, whether it's a fastball or a curveball or a slider. But the knuckleball is a stiff wrist pitch that you actually push off, and you don't use your knuckles. You use your fingertips and you dig it into usually a seam of the baseball. The object is to let it leave your hand with no spin whatsoever, and then you let the wind grab the seams of the ball, and that makes it dance all over the place. So the pitcher doesn't know where it's going. The catcher certainly doesn't, and the hitter doesn't know where it's going. That's why it's so difficult to deal with and so hard to teach and learn to be a professional with that pitch.
Did you ever ask Wilbur to help you out and teach you the knuckleball?
No, I mean, the most amazing part of the knuckleball was it seemed like every infielder had a better knuckleball than the knuckleball pitchers. If you got yourself a shortstop, you were playing catch with them, all of a sudden he'd throw you a knuckleball and it would go by you or hit you in the chest. So those are the guys he didn't play much catch with. But for some reason, the infielders, they had it down.
Gunnar Henderson goes down swinging for the 3rd time tonight.
Good little slider. This one catches the inside part of the plate and has Henderson well out in front. So the only time he didn't strike out, unfortunately, hit a towering home run down the right field line.
Pete Alonso is 0 for 3. All of them flyouts tonight. I would imagine the polar bear is quite comfortable in this type of weather.
This is just not easy to play for anybody. Not easy to play defense.
If you're just joining us here on CHSN and you have a ticket to tomorrow night's game here at the ballpark, the game time has been moved up, a 2:10 start here in Chicago. Your ticket is still good Just got to get to the ballpark a little earlier tomorrow, and it was all changed because of the frigid temperatures expected tomorrow.
Time now for the upcoming schedule presented by Toyota. Let's go places, and the Orioles here for a couple more. Then it's on to Kansas City for a 4-game series before the off day on Monday. And Tampa Bay and the A's come to town.
One-two to Alonso. Runner goes again. Throw down by Caro. Oh, it's not even close. The birthday boy, Edgar Caro. Let him know.
Why did it win?
This is a memorable moment presented by Prevagen, and happy 23rd as he guns down Jackson at second base. One hop throw, it's right there, and nice play by the birthday boy Edgar Caro. That's right, don't run, I'll gun you down.
Got that hot hand.
New pitcher in the ball game, Rico Garcia. Last season, 29 games and a fine 3.15 ERA.
So a new third baseman, defensive replacement, Blaze Alexander, known for his glove, enters the game at third. Eight 9-1 to the plate for the White Sox, running out of outs here in this ball game. As Tristan Peters takes a strike there on the inside corner. I asked Tristan about the walk-off. I said, was it everything you dreamed of, his walk-off on Friday in extra innings? He said, oh, it was incredible. Everything except for the last part where they ripped my jersey off. I never dreamt about that part, but it was incredible.
No, I can understand where you could do that and end your career on a night like tonight. So you want to leave that jersey on as long as you possibly can. But he'd love to have another walk-off tonight. Then we'll worry about the jersey later.
You rip off the jersey and final turtleneck under there. Teammates love him. He was a guy, one of the last guys to make the roster out of spring training. He brings a ton of energy and juice to this club. But goes down swinging there, the first out here in the home half of the eighth. It is time now for a preview of White Sox postgame live presented by Yingling. We check in with Chuck and Ozzy.
Hey, Ozzy, the wind chill right now is 27 degrees out there. How do they hit and come back and win this game?
Well, that's the reason I hate 220 in my career, just because I have to play in weather like that. It's not easy. Try to get down and make sure you put a good swing on the ball, hit in the barrel, take a couple pitches, but you never know what's going to happen in baseball games.
Okay, let's see if they can rally. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much. Acuna, he will ground out. And 2 down now here in this 8th inning. White Sox have had trouble beating the Orioles, especially over the last 2 years. We talked about it in the open. Over the last 13 games, White Sox with just one win, including last year, the Orioles with their first ever season series sweep over the White Sox.
And they weren't a good team last year. So for whatever reason, you have the teams that you can handle and teams you can't. And sometimes there's very little rhyme or reason why one team is this way and the other is that way. Especially last year's Oriole team. That's one that they would just as soon forget.
Take advantage of one of our best offers this season. Get 1 ticket and 2 beers to select games starting at $24 with Miller Lite Baseball and Brews. Now, you must be 21 and over with a valid ID. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/brews. Well, things were going so poorly for the Orioles last year. The first couple months, they fired their manager, Brandon Hyde, in May, had an interim manager, and in the offseason went out and hired Craig Albertaz. He was the associate manager with Cleveland last year. Round to the right side. And the White Sox retired in order. We will go to the ninth. Sox down 2-0.
I'm a 200-year-old elk.
Low scoring affair. First pitch swung on here to start this ninth inning, as Pete Alonso is retired with a ground out. Over 17,000 on hand here for the opener of this series against the Orioles. White Sox coming off of a 3-game sweep against the Blue Jays. As Lucas Sims out here for his second inning of work. Steve, unfortunately, we saw early on in this game, left fielder Austin Hayes removed, pulling up, trying to get a foul ball with a hamstring injury. And with the cold weather, it's just been tough conditions on not just fielders, but also hitters as we take a look at the play in the fourth.
Unfortunately, you see right here, he just pulls up, the ball lands fair. And obviously we'll wait for the length of time, but because it is a hamstring issue, those aren't the easiest to heal, so it's going to be a while for him.
The temperatures, the pitchers have been in control. White Sox with just 3 hits. As Sims fires in a fastball, strike 3. Sox fans, bring your pup out to the... I apologize. We're going to have to wait on the pups because we have a challenge. And it's in there.
I mean, it's the 9th inning. They figure they don't have a whole lot to lose by challenging it.
Back to the dogs.
Always.
Bring your pup out to the ballpark on Monday, April 27th for Dog Day, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Grab a seat in the outfield and watch the Sox take on the Angels at 6:30. There is limited availability, so to purchase your ticket, you have to go to whitesox.com/promos. Trust us, your dog will thank you. We will thank you. The more dogs, the merrier. Grounded to short. Montgomery charging. All right, here we go. The bottom of the 9th. White Sox need a comeback.
Experience the world's largest sports book at your fingertips.
I'm Derek Stevens.
There's a difference between an ending and a finish. Endings are imposed and inflicted.
Game, Southside, stand up.
Finishes are earned and celebrated.
The White Sox are gonna walk it off in the 9th.
It's the last word, the closing act, the final step, the whole point. We don't remember the start. We never forget the finish.
Let's go! The White Sox walk it off in the 10th. That's how you celebrate a home opener. Oh, we go to the bottom of the 9th. White Sox hoping to use the momentum coming off of the sweep of the Blue Jays, and they'll face a new pitcher.
Ryan Helsley comes on. 58 games last year, ERA of 4.5. Saves 21 for 30. Not a great year for him, but he's the man at the end charged with holding it down, and he's got a 2-run lead.
Helsley was another one of the big acquisitions in the offseason by the Orioles. A 2-year, $28 million deal to be their closer.
This is how he's going to use his stuff. He's a 2-pitch pitcher basically, with the slider and the 4-seamer.
Munetaka Murakami leads it all for the Sox.
His 4-seamer over 99 miles an hour. Mason Miller, Daniel Placentia, and Hunter Green are the only 3 ahead in the major leagues.
We have seen Murakami be very patient at the plate as he starts off here 3-0. Down 2, green light or take?
Absolutely a take. I mean, if he could hit a 2-run homer with nobody on, then you'd say, go ahead, young man, see if you can do it. But Sox need a base runner.
1-2 pitch. Out of the zone, ball 4. Hey students, it is easier than ever to get your friends together for a White Sox game. Just sign up for Student Pass alerts and get access to exclusive ticket offers. Text STUDENT to 244-769 to sign up, or visit whitesox.com/student for more information. Steve, this is what you want. Tying run to the plate here in the 9th inning, and it's going to be Miguel Vargas. Helsley having trouble throwing strikes out of the bullpen.
So 2 schools of thought. One is take this one, see if he can get it over, and the other is he's going to be trying everything he can probably to throw a fastball for a strike here.
Fastball.
And that's it. I mean, he threw it right down the middle, but again, when you see a guy having command issues, especially a closer, you want to make sure he throws at least 1 strike. Now it's let everything go if you get one.
Two balls and a strike here to Miguel Vargas. Seen a good pitching effort from the White Sox tonight. Grant Taylor started off. Eric Fetty went 6. Lucas Sims a couple innings. Now it's time for the bats to come alive here in the bottom of the 9th.
Go Miguel.
And Helsley is all over the place. There's that rosin bag in the cold.
That's it. Like picking up an ice cube and expecting to get a good grip.
Murakami on at first, nobody out. 3-2. Down, ball 4.
And Rutschman out to the mound. As is everybody else in the infield. Sox fans, 160 games on Chicago Sports Network means you won't miss a moment this season. It's your home for White Sox baseball. You can stream every game plus pre and post game coverage with Chuck and Ozzie, all on the CHSN app. Start your 7-day free trial today at subscribe.chsn.com. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead. Winning run in the batter's box. And what an ending this would be. Especially with a struggling pitcher. Miguel Cairo looking out. It's probably telling the outfield you got to play deeper. You play what you call a no double set in the outfield.
2 on, nobody out. And the first one missing to Colson Montgomery, ball 1. Fans are coming alive. The rate is starting to buzz. White Sox looking for a comeback. On the ground, fair ball, diving stop by Alonso. He will flip to first, but both runners advance with 1 away.
That was a good play by Alonso, known for his bat, not necessarily his glove, although this is a fine play as he dives toward the line. Montgomery pulls it. Alonso, who was hugging the line, gets the out at first base.
So the White Sox will go to the bench. Lenyn Sosa will be the pinch hitter in the 9th with 2 runners in scoring position. Over 17,000 here at the ballpark, braving out the cold. And a breaking ball in there, strike 1.
Helsley has shown the ability to spike that slider. And that's something that Murakami will take a look at third base.
0-1. Fastball fouled straight back.
This is one that Lenine normally will take to right center field. Just got under that one.
Sosa will use his time with the tying run on at second base. Sox with just 3 hits tonight, but a base hit could tie this game in the 9th. 0-2, and it's fouled away.
Nice job of staying alive by Lenine.
One down here in this bottom of the 9th inning. Sosa doing his best to protect at the plate. Waiting on deck is Andrew Benintendi, who has hit the ball hard a couple times tonight. Oh-2. Benny looks like his timing's starting to come back here.
It's been a good night swinging the bat for him.
Let's see if Sosa can come through first. 1-2 pitch. On the ground. It is gobbled up by Henderson. Murakami will score on the ground out, making it a 2-1 ball game. But the Sox down to their final out here in the 9th.
Lenine hit this ball hard. Unfortunately, it's right at Gunnar Henderson, and he takes a fastball for a strike, and now he's down 0-2. Fouls it off to stay alive, fouls it off to stay alive, and takes one at 1-2. Now a hard hit ball to shortstop. Unfortunately, it's right there to Henderson. Run scores. They cut the lead in half. And the tying run is in scoring position.
Last chance is Andrew Benintendi. Cued off the end of the bat. It's going to be a fair ball, an infield single as Vargas gets to third. This one's not done just yet.
Well, it sets it up for the birthday boy, and what better thing to do on your birthday than drive in at least the tying run. And we'll watch it again. A little squibber off the end of the bat. This is the way the game of baseball is. You hit the ball hard twice, you have nothing to show for it. You hit the ball about 55 feet and you get yourself a base hit. So now runners at the corners, and the infield pretty much talking about what they're going to do if Benny were to take off. They know Vargas has got some speed. He represents a tying run at third base.
What could you want more for a birthday present than a Sox win? Edgar Caro a chance to at least tie this game with a runner on at third.
Or hit the ball in the gap in right center field and win the game on your birthday.
Runners on at the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch to Edgar Caro, swung on and missed. Strike 1.
A lot of pressure will fall to Rutschman if he calls a slider, because you got a pitcher on the mound that can spike one.
Back-to-back fastballs, and Caro is going to challenge.
You got nothing to lose at this point.
Close, but it called does stand.
Call is confirmed. Chicago has 4 challenge lead.
Caro 0 for 3 tonight. Sox down to their final strike of the ball game. 0-2. You can see Ryan Helsley getting a little amped up, hitting 100 on the radar gun. Tying run is Vargas at first. Winning run, Benintendi at first. There goes Benny, but a swing and a miss, and that's ball game. The White Sox 3-game win streak comes to an end as the Orioles win the opener of this series 2-1.
But we figured it would be a low-scoring night, and we'll go pitch by pitch on the final out of the game. Good fastball for a strike, and he's down 0-2. This one off the outside corner and then throws it by him. And it's a 4-seam fastball, just Powder River, nothing fancy here. It ends the game, and unfortunately the Hollywood ending did not happen.
Tough one for the Sox as they lose the opener here to the Orioles. For Brooke Fletcher, Connor McKnight, Steve Stone, I'm John Schriffen. Thank you so much for spending your Monday night with us here at the ballpark. It is a final. White Sox lose to the Orioles 2-1. White Sox postgame live presented by Yingling comes your way next. Chuck, Ozzie, guys, it's all yours.
Cold weather baseball. I'm not a big fan of it, and yet I live in Chicago. But you got to find a way to win.
Yeah, it's one thing about it. They're making little interesting last inning, but before that, really nothing going through it. It's not easy to go out there and compete with this weather. But you know, I mean, they know they play in Chicago. They know they got to deal with this weather for a little while. But one good thing about it, we continue to throw the ball very well. That's one thing.
The pitching's been good.
That's
easier
one thing
to pitch
I like.
in this weather than hitting, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
No?
It's better be home.
Better be home.
Yeah, I've seen it out watching TV. But, well, pitching, I don't know. Some people love to pitch when it's cold weather. But also, I don't know. It's not easy to grip the ball with this weather. Also, you can now use anything. Now you put it harder. But a lot of people love to pitch in cold weather because they say they are banished on it. But I don't know. I don't know that because I don't think the pitcher feel comfortable there either.
All right, lots to get to on the postgame show. Coming up, we'll show you that rally that happened in the ninth. The tying run was on third base. Austin Hayes, that hamstring injury that he suffered, how long will he be out? We might hear from him as well. Who are they going to call up from AAA, maybe even AA? We'll discuss that. Eric Fetty on his first game with the White Sox here at home since he was traded. All that and more coming your way. The White Sox came up short. The winning streak is over, but you got me. We got Ozzie. We got lots to talk about. Join us on White Sox Postgame Live. It's coming your way next. White Sox.